Okay, let's talk about the other big event. Not nearly as important as that, of course, but the debate last night. Just about. Well, I did go back to bed like you did after seeing it. But I mean, you had this phalanx of men, basically. I think it's
a real sausage factory.
10 of them, wasn't it?
Yeah.
But Trump was right in the middle, and he basically won the debate and put the bejesus up the Republicans by not ruling out running as an independent, which Ross Perot did in '92, I think it was.
Yeah.
And
he had 20% of the vote.
He had 20% of the vote.
He basically handed the election to Bill Clinton.
Exactly. And Republicans are scared stiff that that's going to happen again.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you look at the way he's positioned himself as the only anti-politician in the race, and so that is probably the one thing that scares the Koch brothers the most. They're about to spend $1 billion on this election to hopefully elect Scott Walker, who's their boy right now, and someone like Donald Trump can come in and mess everything up for them, and they find themselves in a situation where there's nothing they can do to stop him. He's going to continue to become even more bombastic and more ridiculous.
Because he's 20 points ahead in the race, isn't he?
He's basically doubled the support. He's up in the low 20s. He may lose a step or two in the next one, but I don't think anybody's going to do well as a result of their performance last night. I mean, I can't wait to see the actual charts which show how long each person talked. I mean, Dr. Ben Carson was virtually invisible. And yet at the end, he gave the talk about, things that I've done that no one else has done, including separating the Siamese twins, et cetera. But they focus mostly, the Fox hosts were, I would bet, at least half the time went to Jeb, Scott Walker, Donald Trump, and others in an attempt to make them look bad. And you would think that there'd be somebody whispering in their ears in the control room saying, let's give everybody a fair share here. But it was really clear that once they got past those opening statements, they went where they wanted to go.
They wanted to go to Trump.
I mean, 3 hosts was ridiculous.
It's bonkers, really. I mean, I also felt the politicians did that as well. It was about Trump. I mean, he was in the middle, as I say, geographically most important. That's where your eye went to. Yeah. And, they all looked to him. And it was all about Trump, really, in that debate.
He was, I mean, I didn't think he was as bombastic as he's been in the past. He was.
No, he was more reasonable, wasn't he?
Well, he was also like, he said, this is who I am.
Use those 2 words in the same sentence. Rubio came out. Well, he came out okay-ish, didn't he?
Yeah, I think Rubio's biggest problem is going to be his age. And the fact, this is what the Republicans did during the entire 2008 and 2012 election is they said, that Obama was inexperienced. He'd been 2 years in the Senate, exactly how long Rubio's been in the Senate. He was youthful, and Rubio's even younger. And I think that, while he did well in the debate, I can't see the party actually selecting him as the person, as their nominee.
No,
I mean, I think it's Scott Walker's right now to lose. I think Jeb hurt himself gravely last night.
Oh, yeah, he didn't do very well at all, I don't think. He was the front runner initially, wasn't he? And,
well, he's the one that's kind of he's playing it too cute by half. I think he began to read some of the press accounts, which basically said, well, you're the one that's benefiting the most from the craziness of Donald Trump. And I thought, well, yeah, but you still got to go out there and
very, very dangerous risk that.
And he tried to stay above the fray, and he tried to stay.
Didn't work. It really didn't work.
When you're in a knife fight, you'd sure as well better bring. I mean, you better bring a gun. And some of those guys brought guns, and some of them didn't. But the interesting thing was that it was the kiddie table that was much better. That was this was 9:00 Eastern time, which was 2:00 in the morning. The main event. Yeah, it went on for 2 hours.
I must admit, I didn't see the kiddie table. It had Carly Fiorina.
Carly Fiorina had Rick Perry and it also had Rick Santorum and Bobby Jindal. Those were the four names. And then I could never remember which one was Gilmore and which one was Pataki each time they came up on screen. I was really glad they put a banner underneath them, because they were virtually, no shows. And Lindsey Graham, bless my heart, the senator from South Carolina, he was virtually a no show. But it was very interesting in that debate to see how strong Perry and Fiorina were on that minor stage with nobody in the arena. I mean, the Quicken Arena holds 25,000 people, and there were maybe 1,000 people in the house, so there was no sound. There were two very good, and I have to say, for Fox to say the words very good anchors, asking very good questions. It wasn't the Megyn Kelly trying to outdo Chris Wallace, trying to outdo whoever the third idiot was in the Late Show.
So Fiorina's the only woman in the Republican lineup.
She's the only woman in the Republican lineup. And, she's a failed business executive. I mean, big time. She damn near drove HP into the ground. She got fired. But she says that, she just totally glosses over anything to do with, where she actually is. So
I mean, they try to put Trump on the back foot in relation to these comments about women and misogyny and all the rest of it, didn't they?
Yeah.
And him describing women as dogs, wasn't it, and pigs or something.
He's not
that didn't really work.
And he actually went after Megyn Kelly earlier in a statement, and she let him have it too. But it's like, what you're getting with Donald Trump, okay? So I don't understand why everybody gets so bent out of shape when they find out that he's actually what it says on the tin.
The thing about Donald Trump is his hair. I mean, I'm obsessed with his hair. How do you get that like it? And we only ever had in British politics Michael Fabricant, and that wasn't really. It's not passion on his hair and Donald Trump's hair. And he said that. I remember he said that when he made that comment about John McCain, or like heroes that don't get captured, that outrageous stuff, and he said something like, "Oh yeah, they have a go at me. They have a go at my hair."
Yeah.
I mean, it's not quite the same thing.
Well, last night they attempted to talk about how he's bankrupted businesses, and Trump's answer was, "Hey, I took advantage of the law. The law was there; it allowed me to do it.
I remember.
Now, what we need to do is we need to fix the law." And I mean, it was really, really interesting because he was saying at one point in time, he says, "Yeah, I think I've contributed to the campaigns of everybody on this stage. They've asked me for money, I've given them money. So, and what have they gotten for it? Now they're up here, they have to fight me and defend me."
Well, I mean, I know that they are. Everyone's sort of going over and over and over this stuff about him not ruling out standing as independent. But the bottom line is, he will not. Well, it will not be a Republican presidency. Okay.
Well, I mean, it's not just because of Trump; it's because of demographics.
Absolutely, I mean,
and the demographic picture is getting worse and worse.
Well, I mean, they're all over the place. They are all over the place. Yeah. I mean, and Hillary Clinton, I'm not a great fan of Hillary Clinton. She never seems. I'm not entirely sure what she stands for, but she doesn't put a foot wrong, really. And we had that misspoken thing in the last round with Obama and stuff, but she hasn't really done that yet.
Well, she's not really being challenged. I mean, Bernie is.
Oh yeah,
I love Bernie Sanders. I really enjoy watching it. Last night he live tweeted the debate. Yeah, and his tweets were absolutely brilliant. He said, "Well, how come no one's talked about this or that?" And they had 45 seconds on Black Lives Matter.
Two of them. Well, he's the only one. It's basically Hillary Clinton and him, and he won't get it anyway. He's way out left. He won't get it. It'll be Hillary Clinton, and one of these nutty Republicans. But I mean, they're never going to win in a million years.
No, and that's the thing that I find incredibly interesting to watch is that the only way they will win is if the Democratic turnout is poor. That's the only way they win. If the Democrats have a decent turnout, you get up around 65%, which is, doable. Actually, no, I'm thinking UK numbers now. If you get near 60% turnout, the Democrat will win. And I think what will happen is that there will be enough furore in the last 8 weeks when Scott Walker does well or Jeb Bush does well
Yeah,
or whatever,
yeah.
that will scare people into action and get them out to vote.